Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy evening to you guys. It's very interesting what's going on today. On the eve of what I expect to be a very boring FOMC meeting. I mean, everybody's expecting them to do nothing, to leave it the way it is. I'm actually expecting Powell to leave everything the way it is for the rest of his term, right? For the rest of his tenure. And the reason why, we do not have the data to back up dropping the rates. Cry if you will, whine if you will, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Tonight's question: what state is revisiting a bill let me try English. Wow, long day. What state is revisiting a bill to create a Bitcoin treasury? Ohio, Texas, Florida, or other? If you believe it's other, drop it in the comments. Let me know. So it's a very newsy kind of day. I mean, wow. I'm just looking at the number of bullets that I have that I know we're not going to cover everything. But there's some very interesting stuff going on. Very interesting stuff. So healthcare took a hit today because of what the new regime had said, leaving things the way they are. That means United Healthcare dropped. Each United Healthcare group dropped like 20 points, or 20% rather. Humana dropped 21. CVS Healthcare, or CVS Health, dropped 11. So I called my boy and I was like, yo, is this a buying opportunity? Maybe not for United Healthcare, but United Healthcare, because of circumstances, has a new CEO. Only been there for a year, so not a time to be able to make any changes or anything else like that. Humana, maybe. CVS, I think they just caught a stray. I think CVS Health just caught a stray. I don't know that I would put them in the same space as the other guys, but everybody caught it. Everybody caught a bullet. And so now I'm like, oh man, that could be interesting. So more research in that space for me. Definitely more research in that space for me. Let me see. Let's see. CMS. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else there. Tech firms like Micron and Salesforce surged. I don't know that. I have to say, I have no faith in Salesforce. And some people are sitting there going, why wouldn't you have faith in Salesforce? And it's really bloated. I mean, does it work for large corporations? It absolutely does. But for smaller businesses, they don't need all that. It's way too complex. It's way too expensive. And you have a lot of companies right now that are coming out with alternatives that make it easier for companies to do what they need to do. So don't need Salesforce? I think Salesforce is going to feel some pain as we continue looking at AI and how AI can get there, right? How different tools are leveraging AI and costing less to perform the same actions. Just saying. There are things about Salesforce that I've always thought were a little overly expensive, a little too bloated for small and medium-sized businesses. They don't need that. And even the larger organizations, they're going to start finding easier ways to say, well, out of everything that we have, we really only use this and this and this. They're going to start looking at where they can cut. And why are they going to start looking at where they can cut? That's the answer. So I think the reason why they're going to start looking at where they can cut, because they've got to become more competitive. They have absolutely got to be more competitive. Here's an example. So the American Banking Association and even Brian Moynihan are talking like, well, banks could lose $6 trillion in assets under management if we let this whole stablecoin thing happen. Standard Charter's like, you're going to lose 500 million by 2028, 500 billion by 2028. So they're carrying this whole really big number, 6 trillion, which, seems realistic over time. But in the near term, 500 billion could be lost by 2028 due to stablecoins. and staking. And Standard Chartered goes a bit further in there because they're like, well, it's not just that, right? They think that some of the powers that be know that the risk of stable coins and other digital assets that are like right here, right now for, going against banks is bigger than what they're saying. The risk is bigger than what they're saying. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, let me think about that. Do I believe that? Yeah, I can believe that. I could absolutely believe that. Why? Yeah, Hyperliquor's on a run too. And did you invest in yourself today? So for me, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm going, banks have to become more competitive. They absolutely have to be more competitive. I was speaking with a friend today, really smart person. She's really, 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 really smart. And she's trying to stop a bank from hemorrhaging $9 billion a year. She's got a project that'll probably cost like, I want to say 300,000 to start. And it starts showing, signs of return on investment within the first 6 months. And now it's like, oh, okay, they looks like they're going to move on it next year. You hemorrhage $9 billion a year. Here's a project that will cost you a little bit, but you immediately start getting that money back within 3 to 6 months, and you're going to hold it until next year. For a project like that, I would go find the resources. I would absolutely go find the resources. I'm hemorrhaging $9 billion. The project is projected to stop the hemorrhaging and make it only $8 billion, which means that you'd be able to retain $1 billion. Those are the kind of projects that I'm like, yeah, that one. Banks are wondering why they're not getting their money back, or financial institutions are wondering why they're not getting their money back from AI. And it's because they're coming up with these really grandiose ideas, right? I told my friend today, I said, listen, I'm so lazy that I created a solution that will send me a reminder about the upcoming show and ask me, am I going to do the upcoming show? Then if I say, yes, I'm going to do the upcoming show, it'll schedule the show and post it out on social media to remind everybody, hey, there's going to be a show tonight. Because I'm lazy as hell. Do you know that process, that solution saves me about 30 minutes a day? Think about that. 30 minutes a day. That's that one little process. And that's like, what, 2.5 hours a week? Now you see I'm getting that. Yeah. That's like 10 hours a month that I get back. And I'm not exaggerating. Imagine coming up with an image and even if you use the same image, I've got to set up the show. I've got to do this. I've got to send out to each social that we're on. It's like 15 minutes in the morning because everybody be like, oh, I don't know. It just looks like we dropped a little bit, and I don't know why we dropped. Odd. Sorry about that. But you didn't miss anything. I stopped. So yeah, I'm looking at how companies look at the implementation of AI. I'm looking at how financial institutions look at the implementation of blockchain technology. I'm just looking at all these different things that can help them work and move better. Just any company, not just financial institutions. And don't think about AI as taking away jobs. Look at AI as freeing up time. Imagine what I could do with 2.5 hours a week. 2.5 hours a week. Imagine if every employee at my company could free up 2.5 hours a week. Is it free time? Not really. my team, we're going to find something else to do. But that means that we've increased capacity, right? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about increasing capacity for us to be able to do more. And at the end of the day, that's what we're truly looking for, is how can we do more? My man, Holmes House, thank you for letting us know you invest in yourself. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. That's the GMB3, Holmes House. So I look at that and I just go, yeah, that's how you make your money back. You want to know what's astonishing, though? These companies have like huge money, right? The larger organizations. And they were just, I've looked at some of these organizations and what they're saying, what they said to their teams when AI first started rolling out. They're like, we want you to come up with some crazy off the wall. Just no, don't come up with crazy off the wall. Don't come up with, this is going to be a panacea for something. Come up with something that's going to save us time. Time is money. Imagine what my hourly rate would be. Let's for all intents and purposes, let's say my hourly rate is $100 an hour. It's not, but let's just say it's $100 an hour. At $100 an hour, I'm saving $250 a week. $250 a week. Yeah. $1,000 a month. Time equates to money. Now, if I can free up my time to go do something else, maybe I can scratch something else off the list. And imagine multiply that by the number of people on the team. For shits and giggles, let's just say it's 10, including myself. $2,500 a week? Yeah, now you see where I'm going. They really are tiny little wins that knock it out for you. Really are tiny little wins that knock it out for you. Hey, Paula, thank you for letting us know that you invest in yourself today. Something else that I was thinking about. UPS plans on dropping 30,000 jobs this year. Because, well, they don't have that Amazon business anymore. And I'm like, wow, 30,000 jobs. Now, I still have to go back. I want to verify those numbers again, but UPS is expected to drop some jobs. And again, I look at everything and thank you. Like, I can't remember if it's IAG. It's IAG, isn't it? Or is it IAG or LAG? It's LAG. It's log. Depending on, if you come from Europe or something like that. But I'm just looking at everything that's going on. Meta pledged a $6 billion buy from Corning for fiber optics. Everybody wrote Corning off for a while. Corning glass, get it? They wrote Corning off, and it's like they have this business called fiber optics, and you're going to want fiber optics in your data centers. Corning came out with a statement. They're like, yeah, we're expecting this year and next year to be like booming. Everybody's going to be running the Corning. Fiber optics, everybody's going to be running over there. Yo, Rick Ritchie into his house. Thank you for letting me know that you have invested in yourself. And what was your other? Dying to know, sir. Dying to know. So yeah, I'm just looking at everything and I'm kind of like, yeah, this is very interesting to me. Again, tonight's question: what state is revisiting a bill to create a Bitcoin treasury? Ohio, Texas, Florida, or other? If it's other, drop it in the comments. Never know. It's LAG as in LaGuardia. Got it. Okay. Airport here in New York. Actually, technically, it's LGA, but I'll remember it as LaGuardia, LAG. Kansas. It's Kansas? Secret of my success, I think it was Kansas. Yeah, I think that was it. Oh, you want to know what I was watching today while I was working? I watched Margin Call again. Jaw-dropping movie. A jaw-dropping movie about how financial institutions think, operate. Just, people get fired and you're kind of like, you fired that guy? You fired that woman? What? Other people in here you could have fired. You fired them. Good job. Good job. But it's okay. You figure it all out after a while. The Dow Jones fell about 409 points, about 0.8% today, obviously because of healthcare, while NASDAQ, yep, S&P 500 and NASDAQ, new highs. New highs. Just telling you. And they're still going up right now. The New York Stock Exchange seems to be doing a turnaround after hours. I mean, it's all over now, but you know what I mean? After hours, they all bumped up a little bit. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Steak and Shake added $5 million in Bitcoin to its reserve. U.S. communities opposed data centers over electricity and environmental concerns, delaying $64 billion in projects. Now, I haven't had the time to go through all those projects, but one of the things that I've been saying for a while, and I'll keep saying, is we need to have the states and municipalities stop giving these businesses tax write-offs. You shouldn't be paying for them to come to your state. That happened with Amazon in New York. They were going to move their headquarters here or something like that, their second headquarters here or something like that. And New York was like, yeah, we're not giving you anything. Don't like it? Go someplace else. They went someplace else, but New York City was like, yeah, we're not giving you anything. Deuces. All these states and municipalities give out way too much just because they think they're going to get jobs. Just because they think they're going to get jobs. Not that they are going to get jobs. They think they're going to get jobs. Yo, Losky the First. Wait a minute. Losky the First. Yeah, Toll. John Toll. Losky. Is that who I think it is? Are you who I think you are, sir? And thank you for that. Thank you very much. Lowski. Lowski. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because I have a friend who has... Yeah, that's what I thought. What's up, bro? What's up? Yeah. Lowski and I go way back. That's one of my boys. That's definitely... Are you sipping on something right now? And I want to know if you're sipping on something, I know you cooked. And if you cooked, I want to know what it is. Yeah, I'm calling you out. What else we have going on? Coinbase, as we all know, is against the Clarity Act. Right? On the flip side, you want to know who is with the Clarity Act? Ripple. Ripple is favoring the Clarity Act. So I'm just wondering. Yeah, you're laughing because you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. I knew there was somebody else I wanted to reach out to today to talk about healthcare. Just about the healthcare industry, because I think it's way oversold now. You dropped two of the biggest by 20 and 21 points respectively. Come on now. I'm sorry, 20 and 21%. That's insane. Yo, what's going on, Hutanic? Thank you for letting us all know that you invested in yourself today. Love it. So what else do we have? So that's a big deal. You have Coinbase on one side saying, no, we don't support the Clarity Act. And I can understand why they don't support the Clarity Act, because the Clarity Act hurts Circle and they make money off of Circle. Big money. Not a little bit of money, big money. So you start to realize, holy moly, got to start paying attention to that. No, Rick Ritchie. The idea is not that, you go out, hold it. Canada did it with the Chiefs and taxpayers are mad about it. Dude, nobody wants that. Because what you're saying is we're going to give a discount to big business and everybody else is going to have to pay more taxes because we gave them a free pass. That's too much. Of course, BlackRock and Ripple are holding hands. You serious with that? Yeah. There's no surprise there. But you see what I mean? If we would stop allowing municipalities, oh, they're going to come and they're going to bring jobs. So what? If they want to be here, they're going to bring jobs anyway. And by the way, it's going to be a data center. How many jobs do you think they're going to bring? Okay, they're going to bring some construction jobs. How long do you think those construction jobs are going to be here? So how many electricians, how many plumbers? Yes, you need those. You know what I mean? Like how many of those people you think they're going to be after they finish building the data center? How many humans do you think are going to be there once they're done building the data center? Technology is there that I don't really need a human to rack and stack freaking computers. You'd be amazed at the technology that's already out there. So while you're giving away all of that, possible revenue that you could be getting because, oh, we're going to get jobs, it'll revitalize the area, and it doesn't. All it does is hurt the area. Oh, that's right, because some people got money in their campaign coffers. We need to cut that out. If we didn't do that, do you know how much money states and municipalities would get? There are 15 data centers that are about to go into Wisconsin. And I still have to look up if Wisconsin gave them, big discounts. I mean, in certain areas of Wisconsin, you've got empty buildings. Empty buildings. Beyond empty. You don't want empty buildings because those buildings then just fall apart. You don't want that. It causes blight. You don't want that. So we need to stop giving away free money. No, you come here, you pay your taxes. Stop giving them tax write-offs just because they're a big organization. Just saying. There are small things that we could change, even if we don't do the whole, you pay at the cash register thing. There are small things that we could change that would alleviate some of the stress for the common everyday person that's busting their tail paying taxes. Maybe we wouldn't have to pay so many big taxes if we didn't give away those discounts. Oh, they're bringing jobs here. That's like the biggest scam. And going forward, yeah, it's going to be even a bigger scam. Whoever does that, yeah, vote them out of office. I'm serious, vote them out of office. Tether launched the USAT stablecoin. They said they were, and now they have, to be, compliant with the Genius Act. You want to know what I think that is? Yeah, what they're doing, what they're saying is they're opening up another cash machine. That's what I think that's going to wind up being. This morning I told you about how Tether has been adding gold to their reserves faster than some countries. First time I believe that the government bought controlling shares in private companies like Intel and mining for rare earth minerals. Yep. Conflict of interest for competition or free markets. Yeah, it's a massive problem. It's a massive, massive, massive problem. Make them pay higher taxes, but there shouldn't be any favoritism. Because you're selecting one over others, it seems. I'm telling you, we need to separate that. Just saying, the small changes can make really big ideas. Goldman Sachs noted a shift from U.S. tech giants to smaller cap stocks, cyclical sectors and emerging markets due to high capital and expenditures and AI-driven stock declines. Yeah, shock. Because I don't know if you're doing what I'm doing, but I'm looking at what small companies are coming out with smaller ideas that are going to crush big business. I'll give you an example. So Microsoft Windows has been ticking off people for years. and Linux was always the backup. Linux was always going to be the one to take over. You know how many people are moving to Linux now to get rid of the bloatware that's on Windows, just to get rid of it. Something that I'm looking at personally is how many people are dropping Microsoft Office, dropping Google Sheets, because what do I need them for? That's serious. What am I using them for? Even if I stuck with Google Sheets, there are other tools out there that'll let me do what I need to do. You're looking at opportunities right now where I have a whole bunch of data sitting in a database. Do I need to attach Excel to it to give me the analysis of that data? No. I can actually use artificial intelligence to go and look at the data and give me a report. Ta freaking da, people. Ta freaking da. When was the last time you wrote a document? You write emails. When was the last time you sat down and you wrote a real document? It's rare. And do I need Microsoft Word for that? Do I need to pay that kind of premium for the name? When there are so many other tools out there that will do what it does, cost less or cost nothing. So when I look at big tech, I'm looking, well, who's got a competitor to Word and how good is it? Because what do I need with it? Oh, well, it comes with Copilot for extra money, 1. 2, what the hell I need with Copilot? I'm not stupid. I know how to write a letter. Oh, I'm using Copilot to rewrite my emails. Because you're stupid? You don't know how to write an email? Really? So what you're saying is you spent all that money on college and you don't know how to write an email. So when it comes to investing, I'm looking for not disruptors. These small little companies have been around for a long time. So that, to me, they're not really disruptors. I think it's going to be the wave of the future. The wave of the future. I need small, distinct tools that will do what I need them to do, and I can link them up with any kind of automation platform. Done. Somebody told me that engineering needs creativity. And I said, engineers need to remember that they're all good at picking out patterns, good ones and bad ones. So if you can pick out the pattern and you can break it down logically faster than everybody else, use that to your advantage. That's your creativity. Do I think that AI is going to take away software development jobs? Do I think, hear me out, do I think that AI is going to take away blockchain jobs? No. What they're forgetting to tell you is that AI, when you come to the table with some of this software, some of it works and it's great for proof of concept at best. Let one of my guys come to me and be like, yo, I got this thing. I hope that thing is really, really good. Because if it's not, let me tell you something. I will embarrass you. I will humble you in front of everybody. It's got to be better than. It's got to be better than. But what they're saying is, yeah, it might take me less time to create code. But then we spend more time fixing code. The person that's going to get the most out of AI, 2 people, creative thinkers. Okay. I don't mean people that are just sitting there drawing, them too, but I mean creative thinkers and real engineers. I was joking around with one of my guys today and he was like, you didn't prompt me correctly. That's why my 2 answers were different. And I sat there and he sat there and we both laughed out loud. And he's like, yeah, engineers are going to know how to prompt software to get it done right. And it's going to be engineers that's going to get the most, in terms of writing code, that's going to get the most out of AI. The reason why I bring this up is because there's a new tool out there called, Cloudbot, Claudebot or something like that. Claudebot. And it's got a whole bunch of security problems. The guy wrote it like that. It's on purpose. Take it into your environment. Do what you're going to do. But here are all the places where you're going to have to start thinking about security. That's why people are like, well, I'm not running that on my real machine. It's got access to stuff. Yeah, exactly. And people, I'm amazed. People are worried about actually installing it on their regular machine. It's not just the fact that you're installing it on your regular machine. It's the fact that you're giving it access to your email, to your bank accounts, to whatever it is that you want your assistant to control for you. So if you look at all of the tiny little things that I've built, right? I have a financial analyst, a traditional finance, financial analyst. I have a crypto financial analyst, and I'm still working on my real estate financial analyst. And I have, the beginnings of my M&A analyst. I'm actually using very little AI. It's mostly just calculations. It's mostly just calculations. The rest of it is you, like looking at the M&A piece, it's you dealing with the other person and then grading the answers that you're getting. And you take the asking price and all that good stuff. Yeah, I'm bringing that up. Why? Because it's going to be in the class. We've got a class February 21st, 11 a.m. I'm going to be holding a class for people that are interested on learning how to buy and sell businesses. It's going to be a masterclass. So even if you're using a business broker, I want you to stop and think about this. If you're using a business broker, the business broker that you're going to be dealing with is probably going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff that you don't understand. Wouldn't you like to understand what it is that they're talking about so you can get yourself a better deal? And that's on the side of the seller. On the side of the buyer, well, you don't really have anybody sitting on your side of the table. So you also need to understand what that business broker is telling you. Business broker gets paid from this side. They're not getting paid by you. They're getting paid by closing the deal. Sounds a lot like real estate, right? Similar, not the same. Still, you might want to think about that. The reason why, you have so many businesses right now that are literally just going to shutter. Not because business is going bad, but because there was nobody to buy the business. There's nobody there to buy a money-making business. And right now is the time where you can actually structure a good deal, because a lot of people want that monthly income. Sounds like subscriptions on the different side, right? Monthly income, get it? Just saying. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Which brings me back full circle to Microsoft, because everybody wants that new software because they're tired of paying those monthly fees. Remember, you just used to go to the store, buy some software, it did what you needed it to do. And then we got hooked on more and more and more and more features. Sort of like when you go to the store and you buy a phone. So apparently there's a bill, I think that might have actually gotten passed, that makes it so that phone carriers can now sell you a new phone, and instead of forcing you to stay for 60 days with that new phone before you bounce someplace else, let's suppose you just go to the store and you buy a new phone outright. They make you stay for 60 days before they unlock the phone, and then you can go wherever it is you want to go. Because maybe they had a great price on the phone, but the service is too expensive, and that's why people switch. Anyway, used to be 60 days. Apparently now it's 365 days. So you bought the phone, but it came with shackles, or it comes with shackles. And guess what? When you buy the phone, they don't tell you these things. They don't tell you, oh, you can't leave. You can't leave for another 365 days of you paying. So if you buy the phone, suspend the service for a little while, turn the service back on, guess what? When you suspend the service, that's right, you stop the clock. And it starts up again when you start paying for the service. 365 days. So from 60 days to 365 days. So literally 6 times as long, over 6 times as long. How is that good for the average person? So again, you are buying something, but don't actually own it. Because if you buy it and you walk away, they're going to say, well, you already have the phone. You're going to have to give us money. You're going to have to give us money back. It's legalized racketeering. And Verizon obviously spearheaded that. But to me, it's legalized racketeering. So when I tell you guys to do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking to you about. The reason why is because we're all being pushed in that direction of everything about your life is going to be leased. Everything about your life is going to be rented. Buy a car, it's not really yours because we can turn those features on and off. Cars from 2026 and beyond, we were talking about this last night, from 2026 and beyond, they're going to have a kill switch. Oh, it's for your safety. Is it though? Is it really though? I'm telling you, the big business is going to be, remember you used to have those black boxes that would get you cable? Remember Pirates Bay that you'd be able to download music and books and videos and stuff like that, and movies and TV shows? You're going to see a big business start to blossom with people that know how to hack a car. Hack my car, please, and turn that crap off. Give me all my features. Stop it from reporting back. I own the car. It doesn't need to send back data to whomever. And then you know what'll happen when that pops off? Car companies will go back to the U.S. government and be like, hey, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Yeah, they bought the car, but they shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm just saying. Back in the day, I used to have a Ford Expedition, and I did a lot of research on flipping that Ford Expedition to running on biofuel. Remember that? Biofuel? Diesel. Pirates Bay is technically gone, but not really gone. Just saying. Anyway, so it'd smell like Chinese food, but I'd spend a lot less money. So if you're running diesel, they'll actually tell you how much of that used oil you'd be able to use to run your car. But that should have been easy technology. It is easy technology. Do you hear about it anymore? I keep telling you guys, electric cars, not new. Steam-driven cars, not new. Hydrogen cars, not really new. Technology has stepped up over the years, but this isn't new stuff. It's been around for years. Which is why I keep telling people, if you're not doing your own research on a lot of this stuff, you're just going to miss it. You will absolutely miss it. Now, something else that caught my attention in traditional finance, Ally Financial appointed Rodney Hood as a senior policy advisor. He comes straight from the government. That's why he's the policy advisor. So you don't make a lot of money in the government, but you sure as heck do build up your resume. Pretty sure right now he's getting paid well. In December of 2025, 40,000 home purchase agreements were canceled. In December, were canceled. Not by the banks, by the buyers. Highest since, trying to see when it was. 16.3% of contracts. Wow. The highest rate since 2017, with Atlanta leading at 22.5% in cancellations. Gee, I wonder why Atlanta could be so high. Maybe because Atlanta is where you have 3 companies that own 30,000 single-family homes. Yeah. Remember? Years ago? Not even that long ago. It was like, 2-3 years ago? That friggin' 60 Minutes did that report. Uh-huh. That's a fact. I'm not yanking things out of the sky. These are facts. These are absolute facts. So when I say do your own research, I'm looking at stuff and I'm just going, yeah, we should really be paying attention to this. 8 Paws in the house. Thank you for letting us know you invested in yourself. I'm buying an unlocked phone, so hopefully I can haggle for a better price, a better plan. It depends on if you are actually buying the phone outright. And you should check to make sure that what happens if I choose to leave the carrier? Think about that. My man Stanley, thank you for letting us know you invest in yourself. They need to make a refinery to make diesel from the island of floating plastic in the ocean. There is somebody, and he'll tell you, I didn't create this technology, but turns plastic into fuel, into, I believe, diesel fuel, no less. That technology is not new. That technology is old. They won't put it out there because it makes everything more what? Oh yeah, efficient. And efficiency, in case you haven't noticed, doesn't make them extra money. Having efficient engines doesn't make them extra money. They need engines that will break down so you go back to the car dealership to fix your car, because that's where the real money's made. Yeah. Remember your car used to be made out of steel? What is it made out of now? Aluminum. You're not banging that back into position, back into place. You're not making that aluminum look the same. No, they take that aluminum, go recycle it into whatever they're going to recycle it in, and they order a brand new part. Yeah, that's how that works now. Oh, we need to make the cars lighter, so we need to move from strong steel that when it gets into an accident, you could just bang it out and keep it moving, to lighter weight, can go faster aluminum. Yeah, it'll go faster. That's how they sell it to you. Huh? Meanwhile, we have 50 miles per hour speed limits. But it's lighter. It can go faster. You can go 0 to 60 in it. 60 is breaking the law, son. 55 is the national, average. Not even average. That's the law. In most places, there are certain states where you can go really, really fast on certain roadways. Yeah, that's when you start really thinking about it. You start going, wait a minute. Why are we doing these things? They're not doing things to make it easier on regular people. They're doing these things. Yeah, it's called planned obsolescence. That's exactly right. They're doing these things so they can make money. Your warranties, 3 years, 5 years. Car breaks down at 3 years or 5 years and 1 day. No joke. No joke. Why do most people, flip their cars? They flip their cars in a certain amount of years because, the warranty is going to be up. They're deathly afraid of having to pay thousands of dollars to get their car fixed. Yeah. I was at a dealership once and I heard somebody say, how long do you think they'll make the parts for? You've got what is it? I think it's a Dodge Charger, an electric Dodge Charger. Nobody wants it because it's got fake sound and everything. It was a $60-some-odd-thousand car, and now it's being sold brand new for like $30,000. Half the price. Nobody wants it. But it's an EV. For $30,000. You own it outright for $30,000. I don't know. That could be something I'd be interested in. You don't have to worry about oil changes, stuff like that. You get your tires rotated. I have to have my Hummer. I have to take it in so they can rotate my tires because they're not doing anything else. They're going to literally rotate my tires. That's it. Yay. So yeah, when I'm looking at everything that's going on in the markets, when I look at, Tether getting deeper into gold, Tether launching their, their Genius Act compliant stablecoin. They're only doing it so they can operate legally in the United States, but they really don't give a damn. They've got Tether, the number one stablecoin in the world. They're not worried about it. That's why I said they're just launching it to open up another cash machine. That's it. Ripple's making money. They are the rails of the future. Circle, on the other hand, every time I hear a conversation about Circle, I sometimes think Circle's fighting for its life. It's number two. It's number two, but I really think Circle's fighting for its life. Because on the global scale, USDC means nothing. You've got Tether, and you have so many other stable coins that are bubbling up. RLUSD, I'm pretty sure is going to surpass Circle at some point. PayPal USD, highly possible. Highly possible. Banks, same thing. I think there are a lot of big banks that are going to wind up having their lunch eaten, dirty dishes left in the sink, because you have some fintechs that are saying, "Hey, we can go to the United States and we can get a charter, a charter trust bank. We can become a charter trust bank." Oh wow, wait a minute, what? Yeah. Traditional banking has a massive problem. It's coming from fintechs and it's coming from crypto, and they don't know what to do. The executives at some of these banks have lost their minds. They were really smart back in the day. They really knew what they were doing back in the day when they understood the business model, when they could just go buy another bank and shelve them. Literally buy the bank, shelve everything about that bank. They can't do that anymore now. You can't do that anymore now. Because these smaller banks can make money. You can only buy somebody if they need the money. These newer banks that are coming along, they don't need that. You had the opportunity to buy Kraken. Nobody bought Kraken. Now Kraken's a freaking stock trading platform and a crypto trading platform. Yeah, and they've got broker-dealer and all that good stuff too. Yeah. Smaller, nimble, cost-effective, don't have the bloat, don't have the antiquated technology. And they're not making stupid decisions like, oh, we blow $9 billion every year. We hemorrhage $9 billion for a specific reason. And somebody comes up with an idea that can slow down that hemorrhaging, cut that hemorrhaging down. Now I'm not going to do that project. Say what now? What I'm saying is I think that big banks, they might have leaders sitting in chairs, but I think these leaders are out of their depth. I was speaking to one of my friends. I was consulting someplace a while ago, and I said, hey, what's going on with so-and-so? And she was like, yeah, they're okay. I said, have they changed their ways yet? She was like, no. Meaning they do not meet with, usually you obviously you meet with your direct subordinates, but then you should be meeting at least 2 levels down. At that large corporate level, you should be meeting 2 levels down. And this person doesn't meet with 2 levels down unless you have something to say. Don't talk to me unless you have something to say. That's worthy of my time. What? My brother's a CIO, chief information officer someplace, and he's on his track to become CEO of the company. The mailroom boy can walk up to my brother and be like, "Hey, how are you? Can I bend your ear for a second?" Absolutely. What's up? You groom people from the beginning. A good executive never makes their people feel like they're unapproachable. So she's basically on her own. Her direct boss isn't backing her program. This is the $9 billion, bring that $9 billion hemorrhaging down. And his boss doesn't want to be bothered. Last time I checked, $1 billion is a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot of money. You don't want to listen to somebody who has literally $1 billion idea. And you don't have to do much. You're gonna save $1 billion. You're gonna stop $1 billion from walking out the door and possibly more. And it's gonna cost you about 300 to 600 grand. So not even $1 million to make that work. That's not even called a program. That's called a project. At that place, it's called a project because it's so small. Big business or big finance has a problem figuring out those things. They really, really do. Tether has a centralized exchange coin and a DEX coin now. I wouldn't call it that. Are you talking about Tether and what is it, USAT? I don't think I would describe them that way. Those concepts are very far removed. I don't think I would describe it like that. When there are no backs to stab, what is the next move? I'm not gonna. Financial advisors will need a witness protection program to save their lives, giving the wrong advice. You come up with some silly stuff, man. No, that's not the way it works. I think that financial advisors are going to be availed new tools that'll help them do their jobs better. Just think about that for a minute. They're going to be given new tools that will analyze their clients' investments and things like that. Because most people, they remember what you said last. They can't always just see that they're going to meet with you today and look over your whole account and know everything right there. AI can give you the bullet points and you can have a more fruitful conversation right there on the spot. That's going to help financial advisors actually do their thing. There will be a percentage of people that have their own financial advisors, bots, that kind of do their research every day. Speaking for a friend, that get it. That won't use a financial. But here's the thing. I haven't used a financial advisor in years, so I kind of don't count, right? Geeks like me who have the ability to do certain things, we don't use financial advisors. We're used to doing our own research. So we don't use financial advisors. That said, I think financial advisors, to your point, are going to have to step up their game or retire. And I'm going to tell you now, there are a lot of financial advisors that are retiring. Think about that age group. They're going to be retiring. So witness protection program, no. But are they going to be availed new tools? Yes. Is the game changing? Absolutely yes. You want to know what I really think? I think financial advisors are going to start becoming business brokers. Who do they know? People with money. Not everybody with money is an executive someplace. A lot of people with money are small and medium-sized business owners. I think they're going to wind up becoming business brokers. That'll be the offshoot for them to make additional money. They know everything that has to go into it. They can give all the lessons and everything. They could probably cut a better deal for you on both sides of the coin. Everybody walks away a winner. Big business is going to wind up being companies like mine that walk in the door and help people fix up their businesses to be sold or consult people that are looking to buy businesses so that they understand what's going on. Basically, just becoming an advocate. I'm telling you, the financial industry is changing in a massive way. Massive way. Oh, it'll take less than 1% in fees. Some pay 2%. Yeah, because it's over time. That fee structure is going to change too. Like, you want how much per month for doing what? Yeah. So many hands in people's pockets. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. You practice the GMB 3, your life will be a lot easier. You're going to have to invest in order to survive. And your first investment is where? Yourself. That's why I get on you guys all the time. Say the words, I invested in myself today. Now you understand why those words are so important. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I have one more thing for you guys. What state is revisiting a bill to create a Bitcoin treasury? Ohio, Texas, Florida, other. South Dakota. They introduced it before, it got shot down, and they're reintroducing it again. Yep. And now would be the time, right? Because if they were able to get a yes now, they'd be buying low right now, right? See what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. What else was I going to tell you guys? Like I said, February 22nd, we're going to have that class. I'll be putting it online so everybody can register and all that. Keep it cheap, or as cheap as possible. I know of 2 people that wanted the class. We'll see if they sign up. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep it as cheap as possible. But if you're only paying a couple of $100 and it can save you a few thousand on a purchase, or even tens of thousands on a purchase, yeah. My son and I walked away from a deal. That deal I've been talking about for a while. We walked away because the guy was miraculously able to drop the price from $240,000 to $105,000, and he wanted $30,000 down payment. And I was like, and then he would hold the rest of the note. And I was like, no, nuh-uh. I put it through the whole thing that I'm gonna be teaching in the class, and I was like, oh man, this guy's got so many red flags. It's not even funny. It's like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that. And there are so many. Buy, Biz, Sell is full of businesses that are ready to be sold. Full of businesses ready to be sold. And you know what's going on in that business broker sector? You have a lot of people that call themselves business brokers that have no idea what a business broker is supposed to do. None. All right, so what are you doing? They're literally just jockeying, just putting 2 people together. That's it. They're not doing anything else. They're not telling you, oh, well, you should have this done with your finances, this done with your finances. You should have this taken care of. You should go through this little sheet for, your sellability scorecard so that you know where your holes are, where your gaps are, and how to step that up so you can maximize the money that you're going to get. Be ready for those questions. Like if you're a retail space, be ready for those questions. Like, what equipment in your store do you not own outright? Because those are going to be new bills. Or are you going to pay for them before you leave? Like, what, that whole thing. Some of these so-called business brokers are bringing a bad name to the space. But that is where it's not just the biggest wealth transfer is not just, from the not so haves to the haves, but it's also from this generation to the next generation. And you really want the next generation to be successful. If not, the whole world will be Amazon and Walmart. Nobody wants that. And these are opportunities to actually make money. These are opportunities to actually make money. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor. Smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community. Go to growmybag.tv and become a member. Membership is cheap. We're talking $1 a month. You should be able to handle that. $12 a year. You get access to the feed. And then we're bringing online more groups. Just saying. There's a lot going on. And mind you, you have like a ridiculous number of articles that you can sift through. Videos that are going to be updated. Yeah, I know, Rick Ritchie. We still have to do that. But oh man, there's just a ton of stuff we have going on. Anyway, everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. Me and my team will work for that every single day. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the daily at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.